Hello friends, I hope you're having a great day and welcome back to the Zero Progression series. This is episode 2, so if you guys haven't seen episode 1 yet, make sure you go check that out in the card on the top right corner. And if you have and you're all caught up to speed, perfect, grab a snack. We got kind of a long one today, as you can see by the length of this video. Before we get started though, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who showed your support on the last video. I was not expecting it to get nearly as much reception as it did, and I'm just blown away, so thank you guys again. With all that being said, let's dive in, and we get started, as usual, with some grind to get us to level 227. And speaking of grind, I just want to put it out there that, you know, we all know that this is a really grind-heavy game, and I'm definitely someone who really enjoys the grind in this game. I'd say it's probably my favorite part. And so I'm probably going to be grinding a lot. And in order to make these videos not super long and monotonous, I'm going to be cutting out most of that. You can just kind of assume that I'm grinding in between all of these activities. I will be showing the more exciting, important parts, obviously. Just wanted to lay that out before we get started. Oh, hey, look at that. We're in a guild. So I managed to get my Zero into the guild that my bishop is in, and then we dove into our daily routine. And kind of along the same vein of what I was talking about earlier with grinding, I'm going to be cutting out a lot of the dailies that we'll be doing, but just to go over them quickly now, every day we're going to be running through Magnus, Vellum, and Queen for the soul shards, as well as Arcarium also for the soul shards, but for a chance at a Dom pendant as well. And then we're going to run through Pink Bean for a chance at a cup and slim chance at a Black Bean mark, and then from there we'll run through all of our dailies in the Arcane River up to whatever point that we're at currently. And finally, we're going to probably run through Golix every day. And I'm going to immediately break my rule here because this happened.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I have no idea how we managed to get a pair of sub earrings that quickly, but hey, we take those. So after that, we grabbed all of our money and went to our guild castle to grab ourselves a set of guild totems. After that, we grabbed some Go West boxes to try and get a little bit more NX for the character because you can never have too much NX to select from. So we threw the new Umbral set onto Beta, and I definitely feel it fits like the lore personality of Beta better. You know, Alpha has this like showmanship type personality, and Beta's more like chiseled and badass. So yeah, I think the pair is looking pretty good. After that, we had a friend run us through Lotus, which went pretty smoothly. I still think at this point that we don't have the damage to fully solo, but we're getting there. We managed to get 2 cores from Lotus, which was awesome. That's a piece right there. And then we ran through Damien to see if we could get some more cores from him as well. Damien, as expected, went super smooth, and we managed to get 2 cores from him as well. After running through Dark World Tree weeklies to grab enough weekly cores, we ended up grabbing ourselves a few Stigma coins so that we could grab Absol Essence. Now, I want to take a quick sec to talk about yet another thing that is different about Zero's weapon from every other class in the game. So, as I talked about last episode, Zero's weapon has a growth function to it, right? And so my weapon is currently at type 7. And in order to upgrade it to type 8, I need Absolab Essence, which puts our weapon at Absolab tier. However, it doesn't make it an Absolab weapon. That's what the Absolab Lucky Scroll is for. These Lucky Scrolls allow us to basically pick whatever set we want our weapon to be. So we can upgrade our weapon to an Absolab weapon, but then decide, you know what, I don't want it to be part of the Absolab set. I want it to be a part of the Rudibus set. And so you can use the Lucky Scroll from that set to make it part of the Rudibus set rather than Absolab. So that's our plan, is to upgrade our weapon, but not make it an Absolab weapon. We want to make it part of the Rudibus set so that we get that extra boss damage. Now, in order for us to make this setup actually worth our while, we're also going to need to hunt down a Lucky Hat, which is a semi-rare drop which comes from any of the 4 CRA bosses. These hats, which are specifically labeled with the word Chaos in front of the hat name, all have the special property of being lucky items. Lucky items act almost like a wild card for equipment set effects, effectively allowing us to take advantage of both the 4-set CRA effect and the 5-set Absol effect, once we have all of our Absolab gear put together. So these are the 3 things that we're after. We want Absolab Essence, a Rudibus Lucky Scroll, and any of the 4 CRA Lucky Hats. We just picked ourselves up some Absolab Essence, so that's the first thing checked off our list. So we use that Absolab Essence to upgrade our weapon to type 8, as I was just saying, and with that tier up, all of our stats and potentials scaled up with it. After this, we were eager to test out the new weapon, so we went through our weekly bosses, which included Zakum, Hilla, Chaos Pink Bean, and Cygnus. And at this point, I realized that I only had 1 fam slot, and I wanted to get a second one, so eventually I could start leveling up familiars to eventually get into epics and uniques. Also, it never hurts to have an extra 15% IED. So in order to get our second slot, we needed to get a badge. Now, in my opinion, the easiest badge to go for is the Oppressor badge, which is the one we're going to be going for right now. You only need 3 familiars, which we're going to grab, which are the Potted Sprout, the Potted Morning Glory, and the Grape Juice Bottle, which are all found in these 3 maps just north of Edelstein. So after we collected the familiars, we added them to our list, and after finishing the quest, voila, we have our second slot. After that, we grabbed the Angelic Buster unit damage skin, which we moved over from the event, and look how pretty it is. Then we had a friend run us through CRA in hopes of getting either a lucky hat or a lucky item scroll, or both, hopefully. And we didn't end up getting any lucky hats, but Vellum drops us a little surprise, a lucky item scroll, which succeeded on the first try. Next, we ran through Pino in hopes of getting a Kana treasure, which didn't pan out unfortunately. But then we went to get a couple of Absolab coins to get ourselves a pair of gloves, which we immediately went to the Star Force room in our guild castle to get up to 15 stars. After that, you gotta have some potential, so we grabbed the unique potential scroll from the weekly party event. Then we started throwing some free hard cubes that we had at it, which fortunately got us a 10% strength. And then we went to do some more dailies, and through our symbol dailies, we ended up leveling up to 230. So we decided to jump on into Asphera by skipping the prequests, which for some reason take forever. Like, I thought this was supposed to be a skip. But yeah, okay, we're done. God damn it. Okay, now we're done. After that, we went to play some Yut, which was the minigame for the event, which we absolutely slayed in. Getting 2 back-to-back wins, which was awesome. And then after that, we opened some node stones to upgrade our 5th job skills and all of our boost nodes. So real quick, let's talk about Zero's tri-nodes, because they can be a little confusing. So Zero has a lot of skills that need to be boosted. In fact, we're pretty much going to be boosting our entire kit. So for our skills that need to be boosted, we have Moonstrike, Piercing Thrust, Flash Assault, Wind Striker, Blade Ring, Storm Break, Wind Cutter, Rolling Cross, and Rolling Assault. And as all of these are alpha skills, they all include the beta assist skills as well. Now this would usually work out to be 3 pairs, which would be 6 tri-nodes total. However, because the V-Matrix slots have been expanded over time, we now have no reason not to boost our 10th and final skill, Shadow Rain. Now in order to do this, we need to shuffle things around a little bit and add a 7th tri-node. This will end up giving us the 2 Shadow Rain boosts we need. However, it will end up boosting one of our skills an extra time, which won't do anything, but it will be there. So with that out of the way, we disassembled some nodes and used the node shards to craft some skill nodes that we needed, particularly the Ego Weapon, because not only is this the first skill in our priority list, but it's also one of the skills that deals the most of our damage. Next, we threw some free black flames that we got at our weapon and ended up hitting one of the craziest flames I have seen on a Zero weapon so far. It isn't a tier 5 attack, however, having the extra tier 3 boss damage and tier 2 damage is going to be a real big help to us until we're able to hit that elusive tier 5. After that, we decided to throw some hard cubes at our shoulder to see if we could get it to tier up, and yeah, it ended up tearing up back to back with 2 hard cubes from rare to unique, which was awesome. Next, we decided to splurge a little and grab some cubes to throw at our emblem, where we ended up getting handed the Nexon Special on a silver platter. After running out of cubes, we grabbed another 50 pack and ended up hitting a 2-line attack on the very first cube of the pack, because that's how it always happens, isn't it? So we threw the rest of our cubes at our accessories, trying to get some better farming gear, and of course, always hit damage potentials on farming gear. Anyways, we ended up hitting some Mesa with Allstat on our earrings, as well as our Meister ring. Here we can take a quick pit stop to look at our stats. We're sitting at about 3.3 million combat power, 13k stat. Our IAD is still a little lacking, but we will get there eventually. But yeah, we're looking pretty good so far. After that, we ran through our daily bosses and had an interesting encounter with Arcarium, where we ended up getting a Dominator pendant without even realizing that we had gotten one for the second day in a row. If you look real close, you can kind of see it peeking out there from behind the boss crystal. Next, we thought we'd take another stab at trying to solo Gollix, and we actually ended up making it to P2 for the first time ever. However, we got stuck in an animation lock and ended up dying out. We'll get him next time, hopefully. After that, we took our first swing at Culvert. I didn't expect much because at this point we're still pretty early on in the equipment department and we're not too strong, but we ended up getting a score of 170, which I think is pretty good for where we're at, especially with not knowing the burst rotation or the culvert rotation at all. The next day was a big grind day. We ended up hitting level 231. And then after a quick pit stop to reset our ability because it was 50% off, we ended up getting some good Mesa obtained and abnormal status damage, so we'll take those. And then back to the grind. We ended up hitting level 232 and level 233. before going to throw our cubes at our weapon to see if we could get anything better, and ended up hitting 100% IED, which is crazy. And after rolling a couple of other funky boss rolls, like the 65 boss damage, 10 crit rate, we ended up getting a 23% attack with 10 all stats, which is technically better than our 10 strength that we have now, so we took that. And then after throwing a few more cubes at our weapon and getting 30% dex, which is, of course, we ended up hitting a double prime attack. And right here is the perfect reason why you A, don't cube at 2 o'clock in the morning, and B, actually look at your potentials rather than just the range increase. In this moment, I initially thought I rolled 3-line attack, and when I realized it was intelligence, I was kind of bummed out. And so I saw a 2-line attack with intelligence, I saw a red number on the range, and I just rolled over it. And as soon as I clicked on the one more try button, I thought to myself, damn, that sucks, it would have been a double prime too. Wait a minute, a double prime, shit! So yeah, please learn from my mistakes and actually look at your potentials. Don't just rely on the range increase, because it will lead you astray. After that blunder, we hopped back to the grind and ended up getting level 234 before going and doing some Monster Park. At this point, we had just finished our Hyperburn, so I was super excited to hop back into Monster Park on the 0. After Monster Park and a bit more grinding, we ended up hitting level 235 from a totem portal and skipped our way through the Asphera prequests. The next day, it was the 7,000 Days of Maple anniversary. And so we had some fun nostalgic quests to go along where we had to talk to a bunch of people in nostalgic areas or something, but we ended up getting a cool damage skin out of it, so hell yeah, we take those. And then it was time to give Solo Helix another try. We made it to P2 again, which was awesome, but immediately died. After a while though, we started to figure out the strategy for P2, and with 1 life left, we gave it our all. And we came out victorious. Our first Helix solo clear. And we got a sub-bell drop. What a fantastic prize to celebrate our first Helix solo. Sitting on top of the world, we got back to the grind and pushed our way to level 236. Then we asked our friend to help us through CRA because they had drop rate and we needed to get a lucky hat. We ended up getting a few hats, but unfortunately, no lucky hats this week. Next, we ran through Pino to try and get a Kana treasure, and still, we can't get a Kana treasure to save our life. But that's okay though. We'll get it eventually. Next, we threw some symbols that we got from the event at our arcane symbols to try and even everything out. There, that's looking a lot better. Then after weekly reset, we ran through our weekly bosses. And decided to take our first shot at soloing CPAP. had so much fun just iframing a bunch of the mechanics in Papalatus. And at one point during the fight, my chat over at twitch.tv/LaSqueech pointed out that as the Transcendent of Time, I feel like Zero should be immune to a lot of the mechanics in this fight. Like, come on, you let Luminous not get blinded in Black Mage. Let Zero not die from this FMA. It's simple. And lore accurate. Anyways, we ended up getting the clear. Unfortunately, no pat mark. No surprise there, though. I have literally never seen one in the history of my account. Next, we went to try our hand at Akechi, and while this boss is super annoying, it is really helpful having a skill that completely negates his damage reflect, which is so awesome. We managed to get the clear. Unfortunately, no MVP, but we got an Eternal Flame, so we'll take that. After that, we were so close to level 237 that we just decided to grind it out. And then, finally, we decided to take our first shot at soloing Lotus. And after a couple of immediate unfortunate deaths, we managed to pull it together and get through phase 1. And after a deathless P2, I was feeling good going into P3. And just like that, we also went deathless through P3 and ended up getting the clear. And Lotus was feeling so generous he dropped 3 cores for us, so let's go. Next, we took a shot at Damien. And like I said in the first episode, there's a lot of really great stuff in Zero's kit that helps make the Damien fight not so much of a pain in the ass. We have a lot of binds to help get him down from doing meatballs. Even if you don't have a bind, you can teleport up and throw your weapon. It's definitely not a bad fight. However, P2 sucks no matter what class you are. That being said, we managed to get the clear. And Damien dropped 3 cores for us as well. So, insane luck on core drops from both these bosses. After that, we ran through Scrapyard and Dark World Tree dailies to get some more weekly cores. And unfortunately, we didn't have enough. So we gotta run on a few other characters and get back to this. Next, we used a Soul Enchanter to turn our weapon into a soul weapon, and threw a Magnificent Magnus Soul on it. Didn't get anything good on the potential, but just having a Magnificent Soul will be super useful for Princess No. The next day, it was miracle time for weapons and secondaries, so I tried to correct my mistake and threw some cubes at my weapon to try and get a better potential. Unfortunately, we didn't land anything better than what we have, so we'll get him eventually though. Next, through some dailies, we got to level 238, and then after finishing Haven and Dark World Tree dailies on 4 other characters, we managed to get the Absolab coins that we needed to grab ourselves a pair of shoes and a cape. Next, we ran to base camp to grab ourselves a couple of Stigma coins and grab a shoulder. And just in time too, because the next day was Sunny Sunday, and that meant a 30% off Star Force sale. So we headed to the guild castle to wait out reset. Once reset arrived, we started star forcing our Abso gear. We got our shoulder, cape, and shoe all to 15 stars. And then from there, we decided to try and roulette all of our Absos to get a few more stars with whatever money we had left over. We ended up getting the shoes to 16 and the gloves to 17. However, the cape didn't go beyond 15 stars, but no worries there. So we head to our favorite spot in Dominion to cube our Abso gear. We're not looking for anything crazy, just a epic prime line would be nice. But we ended up tiering up both the cape and the shoes to unique, hitting 10% on both. And unfortunately, the shoulder didn't tier up, but we ended up hitting a 7% on that, so all good. At this point, we can take another quick look at our stats. The new gear looks like it's really paid off. We got our combat power to 5.6 million, almost doubling it. We got our stat to 17k, which is awesome. Our IED is starting to creep up a little bit now, so we're looking pretty good. Next, with our new gains, we decided to take another stab at Culvert. And still not having a great grasp on the culvert rotation, we ended up blowing our old score out of the water by more than doubling it, getting a 346, which is awesome. Then we decided to take a shot at Flag Race. Flag Race is something I'm still trying to get a little bit better at, so we ended up having quite a few failouts. But then, I think we landed a pretty nice run. Even with a couple of mess-ups and a little bit of hesitation at the end, we still managed to get a 350, which is a personal best, so let's go. After that, we used some EXP vouchers that we got from the AB event to level up to level 240. And we skipped our way through the Celis prequests. And then finally, we used some more free arcane symbols from the event to try and bump our arcane symbols a little bit closer to being completely even. We want to finish all of these at the same time so we don't have to worry about them. And with that, we've reached the end of today's episode. Thank you, friends, so much for watching. It has been a pleasure to play this class and share my experiences with you guys. If you guys have anything in particular that you would like me to go over about Zero in a future episode, feel free to drop it in the comments. I got some suggestions on the last episode to do a Zero combo guide, and I definitely am planning on doing that. I just want to make sure that I know how to do the combos first before I start teaching you guys how to do them. But yeah, with that being said, if you guys would like to see this series recorded live, I do stream Wednesday through Sunday on Twitch at twitch.tv/lasqueech. I'm usually live around 1 p.m. EST, that's reset -7 if you guys want to come hang. Do be warned though, there might be some spoilers for future episodes, but if that's something you're cool with, I would love to meet you and chat with you. But yeah, that's it for me, friends. Thank you again so much for watching till the end. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye!